So one of our initiatives for the coming year is we are going to be an Amazon shop expert and offer that service to our customers who wish they could put their quinceañera dresses online, but they don't have time to do it. They don't have time to read the book, go online. We will do it for them, and always at a very accessible fee. So for us, it's what will get our customers more customers.
So tell me about one of the most dramatic failures that you had in your career as an entrepreneur that was important for what you are at this point. How did you handle it? What happened at that moment? That's very inspiring for, most of entrepreneurs, because we are always afraid or have fear of the unknown, the unpredictable. And when a failure comes, sometimes we don't know how to react.
Yes, I got some advice from Harvard business graduates while I was struggling and talking to them and trying to raise more capital. And one of them said, don't pay your payroll taxes. Just don't worry about it. That is the worst thing ever. And even though I was a CPA, I wasn't a tax CPA. So I followed their advice. They went to Harvard. They're very successful. They're investment bankers, with millions of dollars. They should know. And so I did that for a short while, but that was the dumbest thing I ever did. I paid for that for years. And fortunately, we did the right thing. We paid it. We did our tax returns. We hired whoever we had to hire to correct that. And what did I learn from that is you just have to be wiser in how you judge advisors, get different opinions, like a doctor, and read. We're fortunate now we have so much information online. Read and find mentors that you trust and run ideas by them. And sometimes they're not going to give you the answer, but they'll give you different insights. And at the end of the day, as a CEO, it's my responsibility to try to come up with the right answer. But the other thing is, I've also learned it's okay to fail. And what I've learned from very successful people, you often fail 9 times before you succeed. So I don't beat myself up anymore because I've made mistakes, because we did the wrong thing. It's like, just learn to say no. It's time to stop, which I'm actually very slow at. My husband's better at that. I get emotional and I don't like to cut jobs. But you have to look at the picture of the health of the company and the health of your long-term employees, and sometimes you just have to make those hard decisions. But you learn, it's really called experience, training, and learning, and having good, solid core values that help you make the right decision.
So what's success for you? The word success, what does it mean for you?
The first time I felt really successful was when I looked in our office and I saw, about that time we had about 45 happy employees. And I remember one of our employees, who was one of the only people who actually worked in the corporate world and had a high degree, she said, this place is like the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. You love coming and you want to make more chocolate. I felt that was successful, knowing that I created jobs that didn't exist. And some of our employees, their family may have never even owned a car, and now they have a car and a house and their kids are going to private school. I felt successful, and I want to do more of that.
What's money for you?
I think money, I've never been one of those persons who says, I want to be a millionaire. It's about what I can do with the money I have. And of course, I'm practical. I've learned that, I can't live on very little now that I have a bigger family, and I want to have vacations with my family, and I don't expect my family, to pay for me. So with money, it's about having enough to make decisions where I can be influenced in the proper way and not in any negative way. And I never used to balance work and family, and now I know that I have to balance work and family, and there's a time to stop and make sure I'm there with my parents, my grandparents when they were alive, my nieces, nephews, because you never know what tomorrow is going to be. They may not be here tomorrow. So that is important. And then, of course, we believe in our employees. We want them to be happy. We want them, we spent a lot of money in this building 2 years ago, and I was worried about it, but they're so happy. It's a nicer environment. They have a place to meet. They have a place to have lunch that's nice. I think that's important, and to try to create a really nice environment for your employees, because they have to come every day and we have to come every day, and we want to be happy here.
So what would be your best advice to a young entrepreneur that wants to launch a concept, a business, a startup? What do you tell her, him?
The first thing, and I think it's what helped me even when I struggled, is write a business plan. Write not just a little outline. You have to write a solid business plan. And there's so many organizations like the SBDC that help you, and the 10,000 businesses. Write a solid business plan. Know your numbers. Have alternatives. Worst case, best case. I never even met my worst case scenario. I was way below worst case. Make sure that your family's on board. They're going to support you because it is going to be hard work as an entrepreneur, and everyone's going to have to make sacrifices. And then run it by mentors, run it by expert people, know your market. I don't think I did enough in marketing. I did enough on the business. I knew how much everything was going to cost. I knew how much money I needed. And even if I didn't have the money, I knew how much I didn't have. And marketing is so important. Now I think that's where I spent most of my time in. Where before I just didn't take it as seriously, and now I think it's about one of the most important things. Know the size of your market, how much of that market you want. Make sure you differentiate yourself. What can make you different? And hire the right attorney, CPA to get you started. Hire the right director of sales. That's a really important role. And hire the right person, if that's not you, on how to hire the right talent, because your employees are your biggest assets. So those are, I think, the keys. And if you can't hire someone full-time, then find someone that you can lean on, consult with to get to the right answers as you're getting started. And don't invest in too many hard assets until you have to. Nowadays, with the internet, we had no internet when I started in 1988. You could start from your garage, literally, and not spend on things you don't need until it's the right time.
How do you prove your concept is actually good?
Well, originally it was hard, without, investing a lot of money. Now it's easier. We launched a product a few weeks ago. It's a $79 video ad product. And we can do the expensive videos, but a lot of our clients, they can't afford $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and marketing campaigns. So we launched something. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to work. We have the technology, and we launched it with just a few reps. We said, we want 3 reps who are not going to complain. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. It's a new product. And we got marketing involved, sales, and development. And then every week we just kept tweaking it. Oh, we need this piece of equipment to do a video ad the way we want to do it, inexpensively and quick with an iPhone. And so it's in beta test for about 8 weeks, and we are ready to launch this product across the company in December. But tomorrow we're going to do what we call a blitz. We're going to have about 12 people go out, mixture of marketing, operations, and salespeople. And they're going to go out in pairs. We're going to have a contest, and we're just going to keep learning from this product with our feedback from the reps and from the real clients. And that way the operations and marketing people know what is it we're really trying to serve. We're trying to serve these people out there. And so it's not some beautiful creation you think in a beautiful office. It's reality. And we'll be ready to launch that. And the way it's going, I expect that to turn into $1 million product in 12 months.
That's awesome. Now, how are you handling the problem with the printing, anything that is printed in news, in advertising, society is going away of the print world. How you handle it?
Well, first, when we started El Clasificado, in 1988, I thought by the year 2000 there wouldn't be any real Spanish-speaking people left. So I thought it might die just because of that. Then the internet came around, and I joined other organizations in the general market, and one was international. They lost print 10 years ago. So going to trade associations, talking to your colleagues in the industry, even your competitors, your frenemies, what are they going through? What did they do? It was actually like a crystal ball. So that helped us a lot. And we were fortunate the Hispanic market lagged. And there was this graph that Mary Meeker made. And in that graph, she predicted when print was going to die country by country. She said print in Mexico and Spain, I think, was going to die in 2020 or 2030. So when I first saw this around 2010 or 9, I go, okay, I have 10 years because I think we follow more that market. But we started preparing ourselves. In 1996, we started making major investments in digital. That's when I started reading SEO an hour a day. We spent more on the development. We couldn't spend on those other things. And we are now the 10th largest classified marketplace in the United States. We're the number 1 Spanish classified marketplace. And so by starting early and educating ourselves and seeing what's going around, we are growing the digital to offset the decline in print. Our print did not start declining until 2011. So it's been declining steady, and we've always exceeded it with our growth in other products, but last year was the first time it did it. So now we're running to catch up, and it's been the most challenging year, but the first 6 months actually started off as the highest revenue year ever. And I hope it ends up, again, the highest revenue. It might end up the second highest, but that's okay because we're pivoting.
So the interesting thing that I'm listening is how you always are alert about what's happening out there in the market. And you're always trying to adapt. So I think the surviving strategy is very successful, isn't it?
Yes, adaptability is key. And being on top of what's going on in the market. And I can't do all of it, but I am lucky that I have a marketing and digital team that's always staying ahead. And they'll mention something like Snapchat or Instagram that I still don't know how to use, but they mention it far enough ahead that when it comes up as a real business model, I'm more alert. I go, okay, people are selling ads in that. That means we have to consider that. And we do sell Instagram and social media. We always try to sell it. We start in baby steps until see which one takes off and then run with that.
So shifting a little bit in the conversation, is there a person, a figure beyond your family and friends that you admire the most?
I admire what Jack Ma has done with Alibaba. When I first heard about him, I started getting very scared. And I probably still should be because he's so big. The fact that people here in our office are using Alibaba is scary, but fortunately Alibaba and Amazon, just like Google in the past, just like Facebook, a lot of my colleagues and publishers were so scared they didn't want to have anything to do with them. It's better to be with them than without them and just learn what you can from them and find our niche. Find our niche because a lot of times it's still about doing it yourself and self-serve online, and there's a lot of small businesses who, they're one-man shows, they don't have time for that, and maybe their daughter or their nephew was helping them, but they go off to school and they can't keep up the website, they can't do their social media, they need us. So our job, that is our niche, that is our market, and we're always trying to find out what makes sense for the small business. You know, what's working for medium-sized business, small businesses, but small businesses can be 20 million. What does the $1 million business need? Let's create it and see if we can make a product and a business product that's viable.
If you had him in front of you and he tells you, okay, ask me one question and I'm going to give you my best answer, what would you ask him?
You know about marketplaces all over the world. What advice can you give me to grow the Hispanic market in the U.S. and Latin America?
That's interesting. I would ask the same, probably.
Yeah, I already know it, but he knows the future. He knows my future. It might be his past, but it's my future because he has insights about Hispanics in his marketplace that maybe he can't serve and what is their roadblock, and maybe I am willing to take a smaller margin and get rid of that roadblock for the small businesses he can't serve.
How open-minded are you in regards to the handling, the managing of your business? Are you always open to advice, to hear from your employees, or you are the kind of entrepreneur or boss that says, no, my word is the last word, and you just dance to my music?
My goal is the first one. I want to always listen to ideas, and I get my best ideas from our employees and our clients. That is who I want to listen to. And especially lately, you know, the older I get and the more detached from new trends that I get, I do listen more. But sometimes we do have to come back to experience and tradition. We've had experiences where we just said, we have to change this page. It has to be more modern and digital. And this product should be working. And then it's funny, some of the people who promote these digital products, they'll turn around and say, you know what, the print product works best for this client. Print still works. It's still effective. We have to know what works and what combination works. So I have a lot of experience in the print. My team has more experience than I do on the digital. I think it's a very collaborative environment. And if you look at our office, I don't have an office. My husband doesn't have an office. We have open office. And that way we're forced to collaborate. We can hear what each other's are doing. We can jump in on a quick ad hoc meeting, and I think we're pretty open. There are those times when I do get frustrated, we're not getting the answers, and okay, you guys have been working